All right, welcome fellow travelers. Here we are, 30,300 feet descending for our approach into Tulsa International Airport. I believe this is going to be my first RNAV approach, landing on runway RNAV, runway 26 RNAV, runway 26. So no ILS this time. While I've accomplished several RNAV approaches in the TBM, this is my first one in the Longitude, so that adds an element of excitement to all this. Took off from Fargo, North Dakota, exactly 1 hour, 11 minutes, 32 seconds ago. Estimated our arrival time at 5:50 Tulsa time, Central Standard Time. That is 23:50 Zulu. We're about 14 and a half minutes from now. I think we'll probably come in just a couple of minutes, one or two, maybe 3 minutes behind schedule. Beautiful sunset though tonight, really gorgeous. Just that a little there, that's better. Look at that. Beautiful sunset tonight. Actually remarkably nice weather. It was great weather landing yesterday in Fargo, great weather taking off from Fargo today, and beautiful weather in Tulsa this evening. Currently 59 degrees, clear skies. Winds are out of the southwest at 5 miles an hour. Pressure's 3013. Sunset's at 5:09, so sun set already. About, let's see, it's 5:35 Central Standard Time, so 16 minutes ago. I've already set, did I set our minimums? No, I did not. Our barometric minimums are 900 feet. It's actually 852, but I should specify 852. Always better to have your minimums a little higher than you mean, but not too much higher, because if you don't have to do a go-around, then don't. Airport elevation 678 feet. Runway length 7,376 feet. Approach course to runway 26 is 266. Showing us 80 miles from the airport, 79 miles actually. Using my standard rule of thumb, at 80 miles you'd want to be at 24,000 feet. We're below that, so we can actually shallow out our descent rate right now, which is kind of steep, 2,600 feet per minute. Although this plane can do a lot more than that. In terms of our approach today on this RNAV, you see here, here's where we are. Okay, headed south, and then up ahead in front of us is a right turn. Here at Jezen, and this triangle right here, Myro. At Jezen, we want to be at 3,600 feet. At Myro, we want to be at 2,300 feet. And at Jetro, we want to be at 1,640 feet. Distance between Jezen and Myro is 7.5 nautical miles from Myro to Jetro. From here to here is 2.0 nautical miles, and from Jetro to the airport is 3 nautical miles. So about a 12-mile final, which is good. It's gives you a little maneuvering room. 70 miles now, should be at about 21,000 feet. We're just under that, so we can shallow out our descent rate even more. 1,800 feet per minute. But we're looking good. It's always a bit of a challenge to figure out what the actual active runway is at these trusty little airports in the sim. But given that the prevailing winds are from the west-southwest, and when I took off they were actually from due west. Anyway, I elected to land on runway 26. But at only 5 knots, it's not something that should pose much of a problem crosswind-wise or anything like that. Showing 65 nautical miles from the airport now. At 60 miles, we'd want to be at 18,000 feet. We're at 18,500 feet right now, so we'll shallow out our descent rate even more. Make our passengers even more comfortable than they've already been on this beautiful flight. And beautiful evening. Take a look outside. Gorgeous, huh? Look at that. Look at that silhouette. Beautiful. Love it. Look at that girl. Okay, we've passed below 18,000 feet now, so our nearest altimeter is 3007 according to the ForeFlight app. So we'll go ahead and calibrate that. See if 2992 turns into 3007. You ready? Do it. Wow. I promise I did not know that was going to happen. Spot on. I know people apparently have had a lot of problems with the weather engine in this thing being accurate in terms of real life, but I haven't. For the most part. And it's been pretty reliable. Passing below 17,000 now. At 15,000, we would expect to be, again, accounting for terrain, we want to be 15,000 feet at 50 miles out. We're at 16.7 right now at 56 miles out, so that looks fine. Still got a pretty good tailwind, 41 knots right from behind us. Had a tailwind of about 77 knots for much of this flight. But I decided to not, well, I decided, I guess, to take advantage of that tailwind and fly at 0.78 Mach instead of 0.83 Mach. Had us fly at 0.83, we probably would have come in early, not late. Although, again, I'm not expecting us to be dramatically late. Probably about 11 minutes from now. Put us in at 5:52 instead of 5:50. 50 miles now and 15,500 feet. Again, given that the airport is at 600 feet, that actually puts us perfect since we're at 15,600 when we crossed 50. Feels weird not programming in an ILS approach, but there's no ILS approach for runway 26. Never landed at Tulsa before. I suppose what I'll do now is just pull up the airport diagram just so I kind of know what to expect after we park, you know, where to go and so forth. Looks like the general aviation parking and hangars are off the right of runway 26. There's taxiway J, Juliet, which I'm not going to make. Just looking at this map, it's probably too much. I'm probably going to use up more runway. So it looks like we'll have to go to the very end of the runway, taxiway Lima, then turn right. But there's also general aviation parking to the south of the runway 26. So I don't know. We'll see what happens in terms of where the sim steers us after we land. 43 miles from the airport now. We only at 12,000 feet. We're at 13,500. Tailwind's diminishing, but still there, 34 knots. Harso, H-A-R-S-O, is our next waypoint. H-A-R-S-O, you can see right there. And that is showing 20.9 nautical miles to Harso. 3 minutes, 44 seconds. At least we got good weather for this approach, this landing. It'll be dark when we land, though. We're not going to have much in the way of sunset. But in weather like this, it's okay. I still haven't quite recovered from that freezing fog, quarter-mile visibility approach into Walla Walla the other night. That was a doozy. Passing over Lake Oolag, if that's how you pronounce it, Oolagh. That's what this large body of water here is on the MFD. The multi-function display. 33 miles from the airport now. We'll be at 10,000 feet at, or excuse me, 9,000 feet at 30. 32 right now at 11, so we actually start slowing us down here a little bit.
Landing gear.
Ignore that.
Landing gear.
Increase our descent. We'll have to manage that descent when you don't have ATC working. 31 nautical miles, 10,500 feet. Less, what, 700 feet given the airport elevation. Passing below 10,000 feet, we obviously need to be below 250 knots. Continue to manage this deceleration.
Landing gear. Landing gear.
Use our speed
Landing
brake.
Gear. Landing gear. Landing gear.
That speed brake really helps with that. You hear it throttle up because the added drag causes the autopilot to think that it needs to sort of step on the gas when in reality it does not.
Landing gear.
There it is again.
Landing gear. Landing
We'll just do
gear.
the same thing.
Landing gear. Landing gear.
Set it
Landing gear.
200
Landing gear.
knots.
Landing gear. Landing gear.
Just 26
Landing
miles
gear.
from the airport.
Landing gear. Landing gear.
Once
Landing
this speed
gear.
brake, there it goes. You see how the throttle starts to move up? Descent management is very important. 25 miles from the airport now. Typically want to be at about 6,000 feet. Now we'd want to be at 6,600 feet.
Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear.
Slow us down even more.
Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear.
Approach at 185.
Landing gear.
23 miles now from the airport. That speed brake is really your friend, I'll tell you that. Okay, 23 miles from the airport, 7,000 feet. Looking good. I'll do 1 notch of flaps once this airspeed closes in on 185. Just about to Harso now. .21 miles, 6,600 feet. Perfect. Exactly where we want to be. So I'm a little rusty on the RNAV approaches, but my recollection is that as we make our right turn, this right turn, here at Jezen, I will select the APPR button, and hopefully it'll take over the RNAV approach. We'll deactivate our bank limitation equipment, leave our pitot heat on for now, activate our landing lights. Always a bit of tension. 4 minutes, 50 seconds. 12 miles is not the longest final approach in the world, but it's plenty long. Continue slowing.
Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear.
Break out that speed brake again. We'll do a notch of flaps. 165. Looking good. 16 miles from the airport. 15, you want to be at 4,500, but with the airport elevation, you want to be at 5,100. That's exactly where we are, so that's good. Wow, there's Tulsa. Okay, here comes that right turn. Continue slowing. There's that right turn. And now that we're turning right to final, we'll another notch of flaps and gear down. Good. Now the only question is, okay, fine, we're lined up, but will it grab the glide path? That's the question. I see the runway. There it is. And our altitude looks good. Slow us down to 145, which I expect to actually translate into 150 because it always seems to be a little high. We do have glide path information, but it hasn't turned green yet. Let's go ahead and switch this over to nav. No, I wouldn't want to switch that to nav, I don't think. No, I wouldn't, because it's associated, as an RNAV approach, it's associated with... See, what's weird is that this magenta diamond is low, which suggests that we are, but we're not... Excuse me, it suggests that we need to be lower, but we don't. We do not need to be lower. So let's just see what happens. Got full flap deployment. Speed brakes are retracted, and gear is down. See right there, gear down. I'm going to shallow out our descent rate here because I know that we're not too high. Far from it. That's cool. Oh, I love the gear. Look at that. Oh, that's so sweet. Just don't know if we're going to grab the glide path or not. Luckily, in weather like this, we just don't need it. But I don't know, that RNAV. I mean, again, if I were following this magenta diamond right now, it's telling me to descend further, but I should not descend further. Not at all. I mean, I'm 7.6 nautical miles from the airport, and you can actually make out red poppy lights right there. So we're just going to hold steady here at 2,200 feet. Very slow descent rate of 100 feet per minute until we start to see some white and red poppies. I mean, even in bad weather, we would be lined up, even if I couldn't see anything out the window. But I would have no useful information as it relates to where I am vertically. Now I see white and red appearing and showing 6.2 nautical miles, so we'll increase our descent rate. And we're not, it doesn't appear to me as though we're lined up. Let's try that approach again, see if we have any more luck. Oh, it does appear to be turning. Better late than never. By pressing the APPR button, I wonder if that got us to a line. Yeah, that seems to have helped. Let's pop up. First RNAV approach in the Longitude. Okay, now we're lined up, and we're on the glide path. Look what happened. See how that turned green? Now we got this magenta diamond perfectly centered. So we're good now. Outstanding. 3-mile final, runway 26. Yeah, pressing that APR button was key. Key. Winds are coming at us, 4 knots. From the west. Looking good. Let's get that airspeed up just a tiny bit and deactivate our auto throttle. 500. Autopilot disengaged. Airspeed a little fast, 155. 2 and 2 on the poppy, that's good. And 49, just where we want to be. Still 2 and 2. There we go. Those reverse thrusters going. Spoilers are armed, or up rather. Caught a little gust of wind there. Okay, beautiful. That went great. All right, drifting, definitely getting some wind here. Kind of pushing me, wanting the weather vane off to the left a little bit. All right, so we'll just roll out here until we get some arrows. If we get some arrows. There they are. Well, they want us off to the right. There's our yellow line. There on the PFD, you see the screen on the left there. Bingo. Stop on the bars up here. Oh, that went great. Welcome to Tulsa. Local time, 5:55. Probably wheels down, maybe 90 seconds ago. All right, so let's, probably not going to see anything outside, but let's just check it. Other than those charming arrows. Oh, there you can see the spoilers are up. They're silhouetted against that. Let's bring those in. There they come. Flaps in. Great. Let's get back inside. Taxi light on. Landing lights off. Pulse light off. Okay. Let's get over to parking. Welcome to Tulsa. Where the outside temperature is 55 degrees. Let's go. I don't know where I'm going after Tulsa, and I don't know where I'm staying tonight. I have to research that. This was my first RNAV, so I'm tickled. Worked great. I don't know where they're taking me here though. Zoom in here. Let's follow this yellow line right here. Tell you, steering with your feet, keeping your speed up while using the toe brakes, I mean, it's an art form. It takes a lot of practice. Okay, looks like we're just 1 kilometer from parking. Where should I go after Oklahoma? I've mentioned this before. One of the things that hamstrings me a little bit about how I fly this sim is that oh, there's a bus on the taxiway. Get out of the way! Just in time. Is that because I fly in real time, that is, whatever time it is in LA where I am, Pacific Standard, the equivalent, whatever the actual time is anywhere else in the world, is the time I fly in. So my main reason for doing that is that I don't want... Entered runway 0826. Make sure nobody's coming. Is the weather. Because it uses real weather, you know, I don't want to set the time in London at 2 p.m. if it's really 2 a.m. in London. Because then the weather won't be real or consistent. I don't know if that makes sense. Anyway, so my point in saying that is that it makes it so that, you know, I'm kind of condemned to fly at night. I'm obviously not getting up at 1 in the morning to do a flight just so that I can have a morning flight in London? I guess I could, but what's more likely is I'm going to fly after I get home from work. And that means whatever time it is anywhere else in the world, when I get home from work is when I fly. Still light out here at my house, but it's in Tulsa right now at 6 o'clock, or excuse me, 5 o'clock. No, 6 o'clock. It's 4 o'clock here. Gonna do another big sharp turn. Come on, there you go. We'll get there. Goodness gracious. Taking us all over creation, aren't they? There's our parking space. Okay. We'll see how our flashlights look today. What are they doing? Giving us a gate? Okay. Let's see. I think I see flashlights. Let's see. Do you see any flashlights? There they are. Does he want us to hit that fuel truck? There we go. Okay. I can work with that. All right. Parking brake. There it is. Okay, and let's go outside for a quick second. Nice. Wow. Oh God, I'm blinding those poor bastards. That is one bright taxi light. I love how it reflects off the truck's paint. Man, they put up a lot of attention to detail in this game. Yeah, I don't blame you for blocking your eyes, pal. Sorry about that, man. Alright, taxi light. That's better. There, see, now they're not blind anymore. Okay, enough of that. Let's go ahead and kill one engine. Let's see, right engine. And I would kill the left engine right now just to complete my shutdown procedure, but as I've mentioned before, I think that will take us to the... Although yesterday it didn't take me to the logbook page, I worry that it might now. Alright, well, I don't know if I ever stopped our timer. Do that now. Stop. So probably about an hour and 28 minutes, I don't know, what did I spend taxiing, about 10 minutes? Sounds about right. Okay, so let's kill that left engine. Let's see if we get dropped to the logbook page. What do you say? Ah, no. Oh, very good. Oh, good. So our engines are shut down, and we'll go ahead and turn off our battery and gens. And that's that. All right. Well, welcome to Tulsa. We'll see where we head next. Thanks for joining us on this descent and approach. First RNAV landing, runway 26, KTUL, Tulsa International. And that's it for now.